Hello, we are here. We are doing some Pendragon Salisbury Anarchy. The year is 506 again. This will probably be our second to last episode, gents, depending on how it goes. Maybe our last episode. Sorry, for the year.
Ever?
Yes. For the fictional year of 506. All right, let's do some quick intros. We'll start with you, Thomas.
Hello, my name is Thomas, and I'll be playing Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke, Marshal of Salisbury, and Baron of Vagon. Last session, he got knocked to the ground and lost some strength with a major wound. However, he tore off some foes and protected the Countess.
You gotta stop doing that, man.
In fairness, he had one more sword than me, so he was also a master swordsman on a horse hitting me in the face.
To be fair for the situation, that was the first time you didn't that scenario came to you, I guess, is what I mean. You didn't overextend yourself. Yeah. Mark.
Hello, I am Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and I am here playing Sir Florence of Idmiston and Baron of the Axe. Last time, we saw dear Florence trying to find the king of what was Summerland, now Somerset, having travelled through the mists, getting absurdly lost, and running into what turned out to be a succubus that was slowly draining his life force. And in the end, he only managed to escape thanks to the aid of Morgan, and having to leave his armor behind as he rode off to escape the evil demon that had bewitched him. Other than that, I don't remember much else that might have happened.
That's pretty much it for you, Ben, for the most part. All right.
That's me.
And Liam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I'm not sure if Malcolm's in frame, but he's right in my face, right up in my business.
Little bit. His ears keep popping up.
Malcolm is in the. Malcolm is indeed in the middle. I play Sir Baron Virgil of Devices, undisputed Baron of Devices. Very much looking forward to continuing a couple of very exciting plot threads from last session. I almost got our Earl killed, but I think he's going to learn from the experience, and he's going to grow to be an even better surrogate son of mine. Accidental surrogate son.
You know, that I'm going to say that episode felt a lot more Arthurian than most of ours do, for whatever reason. Just with the vignettes
We've been very Game of Thrones for a while. It is kind of nice to slip into a little bit more of the fairy tale aspect of it, every once in a while, or the legends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of legends a bit. And yeah, it's still bordering on that, but it's Anarchy. And let's be honest, this game does have a bit of CK3 bleed or Game of Thrones bleed. That's just by the way it was written. It has some
nice.
vibes.
I like it.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Not me. I hate this game. I hate Pendragon. Everything it stands for.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It comes with doing all of the content.
Yeah, exactly. But what was I going to say? I had something. It wasn't that important, but it was something that was going to be a good bridge. I've lost it. Oh, yeah. I was going to say one of the more fun parts of talking to Matthew Dawkins this week was he shared on the interview that he is from the Salisbury area. So that's actually where he lives. And so he said Winterbourne Gunnet specifically is always been Winterbourne Gunner, and it's a typo, and he's angry that it's lasted through this many iterations of Pendragon. So
that's really fun.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see who's gonna go first. We're gonna spend the first while kind of in the aftermath of each person's scenario, because we left off on kind of quasi cliffhangers, and then we'll be advancing to the fall. right? Because we did summer, right? Was where we left off last time. So it'll be the fall, and then that'll stage us for closing out the year with winter court next session. So let's see who's first. Mark.
Oh boy.
You arrive at the Misty Camp. Hey, welcome in, Sir Guy the Wolfsbane. Thanks for the subscription, friend. You arrive at the Misty Camp. You see a number of adorned knights and soldiers, but very much there's that, but there's also commoners walking around. Various people, and there is a small sentry, but they seem to be mostly concerned with the primary tent. What would very much you would know to be like the Lord's tent. The Lord never has a smaller tent than anyone else in these scenarios.
All right. I think then he would just start making his way forward, heading towards the main tent, riding his horse in.
Okay. You are halted on your way. Who are you and where have you come from? One of the strange men says as they hold their spear in your direction.
I am an old friend of the king, and I've come from the mists.
His eyes narrow, and he says, "Be you a friend of summer, or a friend of Cornwall?"
I am friend to the lands of Britain.
You hear from beyond that, a voice calls out, "Oh, my guest has arrived. Please do allow him in." With that, the guard kind of looks back, sort of almost frustrated, and sighs and then nods and steps aside. As you will.
And that Florence would get off his horse and make his way towards the Lord's tent, or presumably the voice that called out.
Indeed. You reach the tent, and you find... have you ever met Cadwy? Have you even seen him before?
That's a good question.
I don't think Florence has.
I don't think Florence has ever actually met him. He's heard about him, but I think that's about it.
Yeah,
I think it was Dallin that got closest, I think.
Yeah, the old crew...
Not counting. Yeah, not counting Dallin.
Yeah, the old crew had seen him. But Florence is not.
Give me a recognize roll.
Alright. Any bonuses?
No.
I am in the wrong roll 20. Give me a moment.
That would do it. You're like, hold on, I rolled my willpower.
time.
Wait a minute. Can I use aspects for this?
Am I supposed to roll initiative? I can
So I
probably...
activate my Krenos form.
Alright, here we go. Should I roll intelligence plus investigation? Recognize. Oh, a success!
Okay.
Surprisingly.
So perhaps you aren't startled to see the Magician King looks more like a plump, senile lord than what you might envision from your encounters with Merlin.
I think probably for Florence, the surprise is he thought that was like people just disparaging him. He didn't think that was like actually what he looked like.
All right. Yeah. Nevertheless, he does. There's something very, like, just seeing him kind of puts you at ease. Just feel very calm around him.
He's
says,
looking especially slimy today.
mm-hmm.
Well, Florence would just look to him and go, Your Grace. Or I suppose it would be your Majesty now.
Yes, sir. Please, Sir Florence, have a seat. Do you like wine? Or could I offer you some water, perhaps, since you've been on the road?
Water would be great, actually. I don't think I've had a drink in... Oh, a long time. Those mists really take it out of you.
Yeah, so 17 plus, yeah. I don't know why I even did that. And it should have been 30, not 40, but that's okay. So he serves you the water himself, which is not normal for royalty to do. And as he sets the water down, he like looks at you a bit and he says, "Oh, indeed." I'm gonna quickly. I see you met Zelena. You're lucky to have survived.
Is she the demon?
I suppose you might call her that, yes.
Oh. I didn't know she would have a name.
Of course.
Told I almost killed her. Or she almost killed me, rather.
Very few who are prone to a beautiful face are able to escape her web. It seems that you've done just that. How, Sir Florence, did you do just that?
Well, a bit of pain and some encouraging words from an old friend.
Well, from what I see, you were alone. So, this friend must have visited you another way. Perhaps in the land of dreams?
Yes, I think that's an adequate description of it. It's not the first time, but I dare say each time is more unsettling than the last.
Rightly true. Well, you've come all this way from Wells, and from the Axe before that. What brings you to my camp? I assume it's more than espionage, spying. If you had a purpose as simple as that, I believe the mists would have retracted you.
I do think that is true. I do hope that the mists can help expedite my point of honesty in this, but I need answers to understand something that has happened. See, one of the witches, perhaps, had grabbed my arm and caused me to see a vision. Something that would leave a mark like this. And he reveals like the strange burn around his hand.
Ah, that is quite the burn. What is it you saw?
A pyre burning with a body on it. First I thought it was the witch that did this to me, but she's actually still alive. In one of the dungeons of Wells, at least.
He raises a brow. And this pyre,
Hey.
do you know who was upon it?
I could not see the body, but I think it was that of a woman. All I can tell you is that, by the orders of the Prince of Cornwall, he had sent men into the lands of Somerset to find all who worshipped pagan gods, denounce them as witches, and burn them at the stake. I put a stop to it, at least the one that I found. But he is persistent, so I do not doubt they will be the last.
I'm afraid you are rightly correct. Many will die from this invasion. Many innocents.
That is what I hope to prevent. More unnecessary death that wars do bring.
Make a energetic roll +5.
Alright. I don't think I can fail this.
You feel like for the first time since leaving the succubus's succubi? No, that's plural. Since leaving there, this is the first time you felt sort of your energy return to you. You feel not fatigued, not exhausted. Not spry per se, but you just feel normal, for lack of a better term. He says, I don't think these topics are all that you came here for, Sir Florence. I suspect there is something more. Something you would come to ask the Magician King.
I want to be able to protect Pendragon, the child. But I also need to be able to stop Cornwall from progressing any further. I've done what I can from the inside, but I find all the allies that I have made turn against me, believing I have lost myself. I have sacrificed much just for the chance that I might be able to halt Cornwall, to push it back and restore the borders to where it belongs, to the people, to the land, not a foreign king.
I can see much, Sir Florence, especially in my lands. You wish to know about the Winter Prince?
I just want to know if he is safe, and if he is being prepared for what is to come. I swore an oath to do so. And I truly think he is Britain's only and last chance.
Well, I have some good news for you then. He is no longer in Summerland. He has escaped with the help of others.
That is good to hear.
But the one who's sworn an enmity against Uther's line still pursues him.
The Revenant. Man who should be dead but is not. And where is he? Does he still walk the lands of summer? Or is he still in pursuit of the child?
He comes and goes to the south and to the north. I think he waits for news from spies combing the land in search of the Winter Prince.
And his spies are everywhere, are they not? Are they in Wales?
He nods.
Then I may just have a plan to draw him out.
You knighted a boy in service to one of his spies. In the city of Bath.
Ascalon.
Aquilan, but close.
Aquilan, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Ascalon is where
Aquilan.
you're from, so it's
That's
easy.
right. Yeah, Ascalon is my one.
Yeah.
Aquilan. I must find Aquilan.
Now that is a much more difficult thing.
Where has he gone? Has he moved from Bath?
He was in assistance to those who were aiding the Winter Prince. He's trapped somewhere between this world and others.
Well, how can I get him out then?
I'm afraid that there are very few that would be capable of it.
Well, I can promise you, I am very few people. I've done much that many thought impossible. And I can't just abandon him.
There are others that might seek his return. It will take a great magic, one I am not capable of, so long as these mists are here.
Do you know how I could find someone who is?
He smiles and says, "Perhaps you'll find her in your dreams."
I see. Seems I will have to wait then.
There is another. You perhaps once knew her as the Lady in White.
Where would I find such an angel?
He laughs at that reference.
I think Florence kind of quirks an eye at that.
Her whereabouts are unknown to me, which means she is likely beyond these lands. Correction. He'll add some clarity that Bob didn't. He'll say, which means she is likely beyond the lands of summer.
I see.
This winter, Prince. You wish to see him as king?
Yes. I wish to see him in his rightful place. As a Pendragon. As the heir of King Uther.
Give me a contested intrigue roll here.
Alright.
This might take a second because I have to flip to a different book.
Oh. Just failed.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, never mind.
I assume he's going to beat that.
He can't fail, so he beats it automatically.
Yeah.
There's a brief frown that you catch, but you can't really make sense of it. It's not clear, like what, where did that go? As quickly as it showed up, it left his face, and then I think he moved on to the next conversation. There's a storm coming, Sir Florence. It comes from the north.
I assume you're not speaking in hyperbole.
You should know that your service here to Cornwall may be your end.
And it will be an end that is righteous and in service to the true king. But if I do, I will ensure that I strike a blow to Cornwall that will not fade.
He smiles. Pick Florence's favorite thing that he's craving out of that list right now.
Ooh, cock and treat, no.
Just for you.
Just for probably the fruit and salmon pie, honestly.
Yeah. He would offer it to you wrapped. And say, this is for you. Enjoy it and think of better times.
Thank you. I will be sure to. Can I ask you a question? As
Of
Cadway,
course.
not as king.
Very well.
Why were you never knighted?
I believe you have a rule in your own cultures. Those who are aged beyond the age of 21, who have not earned the right of knighthood, are not knighted.
Surely an exception can be made for a king. You could have any of these men knight you, and they would do so without a hesitation.
It's for other men.
I see. You know, there are times where I almost wish that I never became a knight.
You fit the part, Sir Florence. You fit it well.
And I wish I didn't have to. I just wish being a knight was something I could look up to. And not something I dreaded. No, I remember those final moments of Uther. Seeing him lying down in his bed, dying. How mournful he looked. And I thought to myself, is that the fate for me? To lay dying in the mud and dirt, thinking only of my mistakes. At least he got a better send-off. As horrible as that is. I can only wish to die with a mouthful of wine instead of a mouthful of blood.
Uther was a flawed man. He was a mighty warlord and a noble soul. But that was his part in life. That is all he sought to be. He sought to conquer that which would not give itself to him. And it was those actions that undid the king.
Yes.
I like when you're going through this, Florence, you are actually hit with a sudden sense of melancholy.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, we should test this. I want you to make an honor test. Success is not a good thing in this case.
Could I do it with a -5?
No, because a success is not a good thing in this case.
Alright.
Do it with a +5, Mark.
Okay, yeah.
Success.
All right, and then roll me a d6 plus 5.
Alright. 6 plus 5. 6.
Okay. It'll last for 6 days. But as with that, Cadwy says, "Is there anything else, Sir Florence?"
No. I thank you for your time, Cadway. Your Majesty. I have much to think on. And I must find whatever strength I can to do what must be done. If history chooses to remember me as the villain, did I only ask that if anyone asks you, tell them I was a flawed man.
I will, of course, sing your praises, Sir Florence.
It is more than I deserve. Thank you.
Give me a recognize roll plus 10 as 11 actually, as you're leaving the area.
Success.
You see Sir Brastius walking about the camp, very kind of nonchalantly.
Kill that guy. Guards.
He doesn't
seize him.
recognize you. He doesn't recognize, like, he doesn't see you at the time,
Alright.
but you see him because you're coming out of the tent and he's walking from one area of the camp to the other.
I think he just sees him for a moment and he thinks about going over to him. What would this be a roll for? Let's do honest versus deceitful. Yeah. He leaves without saying a word.
Okay. You exit. You are melancholic, but as you leave his camp in the fog, within 30 minutes, you find your first. Actually, let's make some hunting rolls here till you pass. All the -5. Yeah. Oh, -10. -10 because you're melancholic.
I don't think it matters, but I'll do it anyway. It's a 7 on a -5.
Gotcha.
You have to get 1 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunting.
Okay. So 1 day passes of travel.
I'll fumble.
You find yourself rightfully lost, and you're hungry. You haven't eaten probably for days now at this point. And you remember...
Do you still have the pie?
Yep.
Open it up.
Okay. You're no longer melancholic.
Thank God.
Very nice.
The man's saved.
Okay. And when you find your way on the trail the next day, you find yourself before Wells within like 5 minutes of riding your horse.
It was here the whole time? He's riding around it. I think with that he'd head into Wells.
Okay. We'll switch scenes. Thomas.
That's me. Hello.
Hello. So, in the aftermath, have we done your aging roll yet? Your surgery?
We have. My surgery, no. But the aging roll was done. I went from strength 13 to 12, and my healing rate decreased as a result.
Ugh.
We haven't done first aid either, but I was only hit twice.
Ooh, okay, surgery went well. That's good.
Nice.
You can make your first aid test.
With which squire?
Oh, right.
Because one of them got speared.
And we got to determine that one's fate, don't we?
I set Cadwallon to look after Llewellyn, but I assume he is the one tending to me here. So I'm going to roll. That is a success on the first hit, and a success on the second.
Okay. And what's the one that got injured or like cut down? Llewellyn?
Yes. Llewellyn got a fumble when trying to get me dressed, and got speared by one of the creatures who I cut down afterwards.
Okay. I want you to make his squire test -10.
Indeed. Let me just quickly roll those. Oh, bad rolls there. Squire roll -10. Success.
Okay. He survives.
Success.
No, you weren't testing on yourself.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just a roll to see if he survives. Yeah. So he makes it through the night.
Very good.
There are others that can, you're in a town, so you're well looked after. So you survive, and both your squires survive. You're going to be laid out here for. What's your healing rate?
My healing rate is now 2 in place of 3.
Oh boy.
I have 3 hit points at the moment.
I have 3 hit points. Okay, and then did we determine day last time?
We didn't, I don't think.
Oh, your luck. It was Sunday. So
But was it noon on Sunday?
right. You know what? We'll give it. Yeah, we'll say that it hadn't quite cut over, so you get that first health recovery. And
Yay.
at what point do you stabilize? What's your health need to be to stabilize?
Let me very quickly check the rules of King Arthur Pendragon.
It's half is when you can start doing things without triggering like additional.
In that case, I will need to be at 13, and I am 8 away.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for a month of rest, sir, where you can't do anything other than be on your back. Now, if I remember correctly, you are very energetic.
Energetic 20. Edrich is seething.
Yeah, you're losing your mind at this right now.
Energetic, like he's making the lives of any clerk or priest in the area a living hell as he goes, "Read to me the account books."
Yeah, and they've all been ordered to not strain you too much, even mentally, right? You're kind of coming in and out of it, and you don't know any better, so everyone's trying to dodge you during this time. Roll me a d10, sir.
Absolutely. 4.
2d100.
Let's do it. 81 and 26.
Come on, internet. Work.
Kidnapping and shit self.
It's a painful combo, but one that is quite common.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah, that works. I will give you a clerk test and a battle test while you're in this state.
Absolutely. Gonna roll battle first, because I'm better at it. 19 out of 20, almost a crit. My clerk is not nearly as high as my stewardship, but let's do clerk. Success.
And stewardship.
Let's do it. Failure on stewardship.
That's okay. You start. So first off, the Wareside 100 is going to start setting up like a perimeter of protection. They're not going to move you to Vagon until the month has passed. Like they don't want to see you gone. So some of your men have been brought forward, and just the skeleton garrison of Vagon has been kept in Vagon, enough to defend an enemy sieging it. But as you start to kind of look, for lack of having any other opportunity, as you're looking through the battle plans, it looks like what they're doing in Wareside is quite well. But it really is a matter of, so long as those alliance keeps in the forest remain intact, they're going to continue to harry the Wareside 100 and likely Vagon as well. So it is something that you need. Like this can't stand this way long term for you. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, there has to be a definite, undertaking to get rid of the Alliance forces, or at least make it so that they're less of a threat.
Yeah, exactly. But while you're also looking through those details, you kind of start looking at the map of Salisbury, kind of the details around Vagon, and you realize that, you probably have an opportunity, if you wanted to push for further claim of the baronial borders. The only sketchy part with that would be that this again wasn't named by your king of Logris. This was named by an earl. But since it's been established already, there, you wouldn't be necessarily overextending to suggest some minor tweaks that would leave you with a little bit more control of the lands around Vagon, especially into the forest, but even within to the northeastern roads leading back to Winterbourne Stoke, and that you would benefit from providing Winterbourne Stoke, listing it as part of your new estate.
Indeed. What would I stand to gain beyond consolidating it into one area, like bureaucratically and economically?
It could lead to more Librum. If you have other manors that would swear to you, you would also have those direct vassals as well.
I think Edrich would not create a new barony without the go-ahead of a king. He would definitely tweak some. I think, given that it is Anarchy, he's got nothing better to do, and he hasn't plotted or schemed in at least a week. I think he's probably going to try to organize something of that just to consolidate what he has.
We're gonna put it with this. So the interesting thing. So tick, battle, and clerk, if either aren't ticked yet.
They are both ticked.
Oh wow, clerk is too. Okay. What you're lacking
last session.
What you're lacking right now is you need like a proper steward to help you put this together, which you have. You have one. Your brother.
Indeed. Who may or may not currently be trying to rescue his wife.
Yes. Yep. So, but yeah, so you either need to recover your brother or find someone else to be in cahoots with you on this that's of a superior mind with stewardship. I think with that, Indeed. So you're looking for someone 15 and above in that case. It's just a little bit beyond your understanding.
My understanding at the moment,
Yeah.
I will not be outshone. But yes, I think that's a very good idea.
Okay. You'll get 20 glory for that.
Perfect. Also, this is going to be great for tax reasons as well.
Mark, on that note, you did go into melancholy, so you will get the benefit of that. She's 25 glory. I'm just verifying. Melancholy. The hell's the? Yep, 25 glory. All right. That brings us to Virgil.
Virgil's turn. I love Virgil things.
Virgil, we last left off with the excitement of that hunt and the immediate sort of statements in the aftermath. We'll kind of move forward to the boar is on the spit roast, being cooked before you all, and the tents are around, and this is now sort of the ceremonial feasting part of the hunt, where the boar itself is like the main prize, right? But they've got like custards and other things prepared. There's a palpable tension in the air with what almost happened to the boy Earl.
Not for Virgil.
and not for the Earl either. He's like, he definitely had a moment right after it happened. I don't think he's used to being in life or death situations. That's probably his first one. So, but now that it's like recovered and it's past that, he's like right into celebrating.
Sorry, my dog's barking up a storm over here.
It's all good.
Yeah, I think Virgil similarly is like sitting as close to the Earl as he can, and just grinning for a lot of it. I don't think he's unaware of all the the potential dramas about it, but I think as he's watching the spit, he just kind of like grins and turns to Robert and goes, you know, I've seen a lot of people die over the years. I find it deeply interesting how, even though you came rather close today, my Earl, my Lord, I was proud of how you handled it.
He smiles. He says, well, I would have got it, but, you know, I'm going to test something for him. I'm going to test pride. I'm going to see if he admits it. Let's see if he admits it. It's like, or is this surely the kids? Am I out of touch? No, it's the kids who are wrong. Let's see.
Me, a kid.
He is proud. Oh, it's not bad.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I guess you're probably right, but I likely just need to practice a little bit more. I know what I can already hear Sir Bar now. It's going to be when I'm the right age, when I'm a squire, but I am an earl, and that comes with additional responsibilities. So getting up on that horse with the spear more often would be beneficial, regardless of whether or not I'm young.
I wholeheartedly agree. In fact, it's almost exactly what I would tell you. Now, even men like me make mistakes, sometimes in rather crucial times. You could ask Edrich. For as fine a swordsman as he is, he ends up quite badly hurt quite often. Do you think that's because Edrich is a lesser man or a lesser swordsman?
No, he's renowned for his swordsmanship.
As you will someday be for your leadership. No. Sometimes it's a matter of judgment, of knowing when to charge and when to hold back. Today, you took a risk, and while it didn't pay off directly for you, he points over to the pig. He goes, or to the boar. He goes, the boar is on the spit, and you've come back with that victory. That's something to be proud of, and there's lessons to learn in it as well. Haste can sometimes be a great boon. It can surprise your enemies and keep your allies on their toes. But that recklessness comes with risks, and you should always know what you're risking before you make the attempt. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Don't pay too much mind to Bar. It's his job to keep you safe. But it's your job to grow into the kind of man you want to be.
I don't wish to be like my Uncle Rufus. He's kind of a coward.
Yes. I mean, everyone has different strengths to bring. So long as you know that you can go to bed being proud of who you are, and not rely on others to be proud for you, well, I think there's plenty of virtue in that.
He nods.
You've done a great deal for me, my lord. But beyond that, you have a good heart. Do you know the thing I value more than anything else in this world?
He pauses to think. Is it devices?
Devices is new to me, and I do hold it very dear. It's my honor. It's my heart. Trust your heart and act with honor, and it will never lead you astray. It won't always lead you down the easiest path, but it will lead you down the right one. I promise you that. And then I pick him up and I slam him through the table.
A body slam time?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Test your orate for me.
May I impassion with honor for this?
You may.
Yep. That is a success. And that's a success.
Okay.
I would have passed even if I didn't. That's
right.
Nice.
Yeah, he nods. He definitely takes that lesson to heart. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to do with this scene of the immediate aftermath of the hunt?
I do have one thing, or maybe two. I'll try to keep it quick. One, I'd like to check in with Sir Hellifer and see how he enjoyed the hunt, because I am trying to butter that man up.
Right.
And then I would also like to check on the two orphans that I'm warding, and see how the all the guests are handling me warding two peasants.
Right. Roll D10.
I love a D10. It's my favorite kind of die. That's a 2.
And 2D100.
I love 2D100. It's my favorite kind of die. 59 and a 32, sir.
Wild animal and monster mash.
Guy Wolfsbane is absolutely right. The fact that Virgil is the most influential knight on the young lord is very concerning. It is, isn't it? How did we get here? How on earth did we get here?
Yeah.
Hey, you're good with kids.
He's shockingly good with kids. I should know. I'm raising 2 children whose mother I killed with a sword.
Yeah, remind me who your orphans are again. Yeah.
Yes. So back when we invaded Bedegrain, during that siege, because Devices was so close to the border, I was in charge of helping police.
Not Bedegrain.
Oh, was it Bedegrain?
No. Genshin.
Genshin. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
While we were, since Devices is so close to the border there, I was in charge of policing that area for a while, and some of the peasants there tried to murder me. And one of them did it using their 2 children kind of as a oh, I'm just a poor mother with my poor kids. And I cut her in half. And she was those kids were going to starve. So Virgil was like, I know this is not proper. I don't give a shit. My honor compels me to make sure that these kids have opportunities. You know, they'll be well fed and they'll have whatever they're not going to be nobles, but they can have good jobs here eventually, you know.
Okay. And who were you checking in before with the orphans? Before the orphans, rather?
Hellifer, the siege master that's working on everything.
So you encounter Hellifer. He looks he's enjoying the feast. Let's say that. He's probably a couple of drinks in at this point.
You look as if you had a success today, Sir Helfer.
I'm not sure that's entirely true. It was an exciting hunt. And I'm pleased that the Earl survived it. And this wine is wonderful.
You speak a little between words, but I don't mind. People are here to enjoy themselves, and the Earl is here to learn. May I ask you what you've learned? Oh, sorry.
It's not so much that I critique your decision, Sir Virgil. It's more that I would hate to be around such a tragedy.
Most would think that true. And yet, no one here has been. Not since his father passed. And someday, the boy will pass as well. Hopefully, after he's lived a long, healthy, and good life, and produced an heir that can carry us into the next generation. But we aren't always so lucky with these things. And what more? Bar is protective of the boy, as is his mother, for good reason. Future of Salisbury sits on his shoulders. But more than that, they lost his father. And they lost his father in a way that leaves a wound for those who loved him. I suspect that that wound, if not carefully managed, may grow to hurt the boy as well. Either way, as you said, you don't doubt my methods, just are grateful that things didn't go worse, and I assure you, there is no one in this room who feels that feeling more than I. May I ask you what you learned today?
I learned that the Knights of Salisbury aren't as different from those of London as I originally thought.
In a sense, that's true, I imagine. I haven't met many knights from London, but we are Britons, through and through. We all felt the boot of Rome on us, and we all fight Saxon for our survival, for our land. And we all miss a king, one way or the other. But I think there's more to it than that. I think there's more to it than that. It's true that knights as a whole may not be very different. But I think that there is a caliber of knight that Salisbury produces that I do think is unique. I should know. I have fought many battles against knights. I've slain a few. Not as many as I've faced Saxons, certainly, but there is something worth noting there. There's a difference. I can feel it.
I think Uther very much would have enjoyed this feast from the stories my father used to tell me.
Perhaps.
Hey, welcome in, Raiders.
Perhaps. But Uther Pendragon is dead. I mean no disrespect when I say that, to me, he's nothing more than a corpse rotting in his grave. I mean no disrespect. It's where we all end up. I'm more concerned with the living. and the yet to be slain.
With that, make an awareness roll.
I love awareness rolls. I'm blind as a bat. I'm nearsighted, and glasses have not been invented for me yet.
This is audio anyway, so maybe that's why you succeed.
Yeah.
I live.
Do you have that checked yet?
I do not.
Okay. There's some kind of commotion not far from the feast. You know, there's kind of different areas. Like it's a pretty big field, right? And fairly far from where you are, you hear a fair amount of commotion.
Oh, you'll have to excuse me. The duty of a host never seems to end.
All right. This is convenient because it's coming from the direction you were headed to next with the children. And why don't you, on that note, tell me what we know about these children so far? Because that was a few years ago.
Virtually nothing.
Virtually
I
nothing.
don't think we've had them depicted on screen yet, so you got free range. I think. Let me see.
It's been about
what year
5 years. 501, I think, or 500.
504 actually is what I've got here. Their names are Bridget and Guriford. Their mother was a bandit, and that's when I took them in. At least
My
I
father
don't
smelled
remember
of
who said how old
elderberries.
they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, their mother was a bandit. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Let's see. 504. It's possible. Let me just see if I have any notes on that. It was probably close to that. It's probably 503, though, I'm guessing. Either or, sure. We'll factor that in. Did we establish genders?
One was a girl and one was a boy.
Thought so. Okay.
Yeah. Names were Bridget and Guriford. I can write that down for you if you want. Post it in the chat here.
Okay. They are 10 and 8 in age. And Griffith would be the name. So Griffith. Yeah, you kind of zoom in and you reach here, and you see there's a bunch of panic, and Bridget's kind of flipping out, and she said that Griffith went to the trees to relieve himself, and she saw a hand reach out and grab him, and he's gone. And so like everyone's kind of like doubting this 10-year-old girl, that she's, you know, or they think it might be some sort of prank, but there's also people that have now gone, you know, looking.
I think Virgil crouches down and he goes, "Do you swear that's what you saw?"
Yes, Sir Virgil.
And he stands and he whistles, and the hounds, I think, come running for him.
Okay. Which hounds?
I think he. Yeah. Yes. All the hounds. The hunting hounds, even maybe, perhaps, because they could get that sense of smell.
Okay.
I think what Virgil's orders are going to be is all of the regular castle knights and whoever his best guy is, keep a horn close, and protect the Earl. All of his guys that are with him, his bodyguards, and his whoever else is free, spread out, take the dogs, see if we can track down this kid. Bring whoever took him to me, you know?
Mm-hmm. In this case, I'm going to give you a hunting roll as Virgil, +8, -3, because the forests are weird these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so total of 5.
+5. Yeah. That actually gives me decent odds. That's a success.
Okay. You wander like pretty deep into the woods as a hunting party over the course of like an hour of the evening. And as you reach a river, you kind of are startled as you're like part of this group of dogs are losing it. And you reach the river, and standing right beside a tree is Griffin.
I think Virgil keeps his sword close and kind of steps over and he goes, "You all right, boy?"
He looks up to you and there's like a look of horror on his face, but he looks quite pale. But otherwise, like, he gives a nod. And then he goes to talk and nothing comes out. He looks like surprised.
Virgil crouches down and like checks his eyes, feels his skin. Do you feel like he's cold? I mean, he's been out in the forest.
Nothing abnormal. First aid, actually.
Ooh. Oh, not bad at that. I was squired at one point.
Yeah, he seems rather like his body temperature is okay. He's a little hot to the touch temperature wise, so maybe he's coming down with something. Or maybe it's just adrenaline. Which you would say you wouldn't use the word adrenaline.
I test perhaps spiritual versus worldly to see if I assume this is man-made or something more supernatural?
You would need to test, I think, fairy lore or suspicious.
Let's do fairy lore.
Let's start with fairy lore. Okay.
You can see why I keep attacking
and
them.
then I will say, I think, worldly or worldly or spiritual.
Spiritual. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you're bothered by the whole, was abducted thing and then seemed to be here just fine. Like, not a hair harmed on his body.
Speak, boy. Who did this to you?
You hear like an escape of air.
Calm down. Tell me who did this to you. I'll protect you.
Yeah. You see him like, yeah. Calm down. Yeah. It's a lineup from Airplane. There's a whole line of people waiting to slap him.
Yeah, exactly. All the hounds, right?
Yeah. But I think he faints when you do that.
I don't know why I bother with children.
And then Bridget kind of comes running up at that point, and we'll wrap her arms around him.
He's all right. He won't speak. He's got a slight fever, but he should be fine.
All right. And with that, guys, we're going to break from that scene. Did you succeed at anything else? You did. 11 more glory for you, sir.
I love glory.
And we're going to go on just like a 2 or 3 minute break. I'll put up the video for the Pendragon rules we're using. I do like a Pendragon in 3 minutes for anyone in. I just want to say welcome in Insomnia Night. Sorry I didn't say that right away, or just in the middle of that little role play. I didn't want to rip it up. I cut it short. So.
We love seeing you. We love seeing you here regardless.
Indeed.
All right. Be right back in a few minutes after a break. By default, nights start at 21 with Kimmer culture, Christian religion, Salisbury homeland, and a random family characteristic. You can choose different options for all these. There are 5 characteristics: size, dexterity, strength, constitution, and appeal. Size and con determine total hit points and unconscious value. Size and strength determine weapon and brawling damage. Dex keeps a character upright or horsed and is used for starting weapon skills and throwing. Con also affects healing rate. App covers starting social skills, attractiveness, distinctive traits, and seating at feast. Skills have base starting values, some determined by your characteristic scores. Most skills are straightforward, but here are a few unusual ones. Recognize is used for identifying people, folklore for general and mythical knowledge, battle for navigating battles successfully, and hunting for navigating Britain's dense forests. There are 13 paired traits, like chaste, lustful, or valorous, cowardly, where increasing one lowers the other. These define how a character naturally behaves. If a trait is 16 or higher, it's famous, meaning the character defaults to the behavior without rolling. Otherwise, in uncertain moments, a player can roll one trait of the pair. If it succeeds, that's the action taken. If it fails, the opposite trait is tested instead. Over time, traits can shift through gameplay. Passions show what your character cares about, like loyalty, lord, or love of family. They range from unsung 1 to 15, famous 16 to 19, and exalted 20 plus. You can invoke a passion for a bonus, but failure can cause melancholy, creating a -5 penalty. Or, in the case of madness, takes you right out of play. Famous passions are riskier, but exalted ones mostly help. In Pendragon, you roll a d20 and want to roll under your tested trait, passion, characteristic, or skill, like Price is Right rules. For contested rolls, the higher success wins, while the lower success is called a partial success. Sometimes you need to roll over a target number for challenges, like breaking down a door. Rolling exactly your tested value is a critical strike. Rolling over your tested number is a failure. Rolling a 20 on a failed roll is a fumble. Bad news. If your tested number is greater than 20, the extra value becomes a bonus to your roll. This removes failure and fumble risk while boosting your critical chance. Glory measures a knight's fame for their deeds, directly granting permanent increase to their character. To be a knight is to pursue more glory. The more glory, the more recognition, and the greater the benefits to your character. This concludes the basics for a player on how to play Pendragon. The GM can guide the rest. Check out my linked series to find out why you should play Pendragon. jump in. Hey, we're back, and for those that are stuck running through an ad, I apologize, but we didn't want to leave everyone waiting too long, so we're going to just sort out what the next scene is anyways. Mark, if I can kindly get you to roll me a d10.
All right.
Blurry Mark.
D10. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's
There,
not
that looks
focusing
better.
on my face. D10. 7.
You might not meet Zelena again.
Okay. So things will go as expected, more or less. You're back in Wells, and we will move forward to the fall then at this point. This is now early autumn. Okay. Give me a... No, I'm not even going to make you test battle for this. I think you're aware. You're given orders, so it seems that Nanteleod has taken the Castle of Great Bridge.
Yeah.
And the garrison from Bath was never sieged. There's been soldiers that have come through over the last couple months heading south. They've been forced out of various manors that have been liberated, specifically in the northwest of Summerland. But there's been no other war that's come your way.
All right.
Is there anything you wanted to focus on as Sir Florence?
The one thing would be trying to delicately spread rumors around Wells that a young boy has been seen in the city bearing a resemblance to the heir of Uther.
Okay. Give me an intrigue roll to spread rumors.
I would like to use Homage Pendragon.
Okay, I'll allow it. I will allow that. Okay.
That's
Nice.
Yeah. Critical.
What's your intrigue rating?
17.
Thank you kindly.
No problem.
There are a number of what you assume to be the Praetor's men that scour through in the next following weeks, looking for any sign of this would-be boy.
All right. Next up, Florence wants to try and secure some blackmail on one of these guys. Specifically, anything he can use against them, or see if they're willing to be bribed. Essentially, his goal is he wants to get them to tell the Praetor that the Winter Prince is indeed here.
Okay. Restate that attention again. I just want to make sure I understand it.
Okay. Essentially, he's trying to get one of his men either through coercion, blackmail, or bribery to go back and tell the Praetor that the Winter Prince is indeed in Wells.
Okay. Through bribery, I suppose. You know what? Are you fooling them, or are you letting them in on the secret that he's not actually in Wales?
No, he's fooling them.
Okay. I want you to test deceitful for me.
All right. Success.
Okay. We shall put that on hold. But safe to say... Yeah, go ahead.
I would say, as he would do this, if he feels like this plan has succeeded, he'd probably contact the Black Dog, saying that he knows where the Praetor is going to be.
Okay. Understood. So with that, not too long after, you see Sir Brassius.
All right. He is welcomed into Wells.
He wishes to treat with you.
All right. Brings him in to his office, presumably.
Understood.
Offer him some wine and go, Sir Brassius, care for a drink?
No thank you, Sir Florence. I'm trying to keep fighting fit, as it were.
I see. Very well, then.
Age has a way of taking that away from you.
I'm not that far from it myself. What can I do for you, Sir Brassius?
I wish to know if they're here.
Who is here?
The remnants of my men. The ones taken at St. George. By the Praetor.
I would say no. They are not here at the moment. Why would you think they would be here?
I was told they were taken south.
Well, I could see, but I have not heard of anything so far.
Strange.
You've come quite a long way, Brassius.
I've come and gone for quite some time. I feel like I've been on horse for months now.
Have you? Very well, then. I suppose the mists do odd things.
Indeed. Well, I suppose I will ride into Cornwall then and see if there's any news of my men. You heard nothing of the Praetor taking his own hostages?
No, I have not. If it has happened, I have not been informed.
Hey, welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Lady Magdala. Yeah. And friends.
I will let you know if I hear anything.
He nods to that. He doesn't plan to stick around, so if there's anything you want to do or say with him, He looks like he's getting ready to leave pretty quick.
I think he'd just leave him to his business.
Okay.
I think it's a little suspicious to why he's here, but shrugs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as much as he came through, he's departed again.
All right.
I cannot find a token of him. I've been looking on the side for the last 3 minutes. So
Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
yeah. Oh well, we'll give up. Also, my computer's being really slow. Trying not to let it freeze. Okay. So, Florence, is there anything you want to do with the fall here? Time's precious. So, what's your priority for the fall while you're stuck in Wales, acting as the commander of it?
Yeah. I think other than the usual job he does in preparation and his plans to attempt to lure down the Praetor, I think he would make some conversations with the witch he has captured, and trying to understand and ask some questions about the strangeness of the Fae and how one would go about freeing someone who has been trapped between layers.
Okay, we can do that right away if you wish.
Right.
I think it's going to be in character mostly. So you find her well enough. One thing that you've been made to know is that she is blind, and she prefers her eyes to be wrapped.
All right.
Have you accommodated this for her?
Comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, he would see that she's as comfortable as she can be in a prison cell.
As you approach, she smiles.
So, do your people prefer witches or sorceresses?
They call me the seer. Those who follow me.
I see. But ironic, no?
I see what you cannot.
Perhaps you might be able to help me. A friend of mine has been trapped in that strange place between this existence and another. I want to know of a way to free him. Free Akalon.
How much do you really wish to know?
Whatever it takes.
Your people won't like my methods.
They don't need to know about them, do they?
Very well. I will need one of your livestock. One of the hardiest.
I see. I'm sure something could be arranged.
You will lose it in the end. Knight.
Lose what?
its life will be made for better use. A gift to the gods.
I see. Well, if it is for the sake of Aglon, let it be so. I'll have it brought here now, or do you need some time to prepare?
It will need to be prepared for a holy day. Let us prepare it for Samhain.
Alan. Is it a day of rest for your people?
She smiles. I'm just checking one thing. She says, on better thought, you might have other complications come Samhain.
Like
Perhaps
what?
she smiles. The equinox will serve us better. And she tells you that you have... Let's do it this way. So tell us what? You have that's in 11 days. She asks you what the date is, and then she says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright then. Shall have everything prepared by then. Is there anything else you need?
Yes. That site where they were burning the pagan people, the people you call pagan. It must be done there.
Alright then. I'll have the site cleared.
Very well. Okay. We are going to put a pause on that when we pick up in the next session for Florence. We will see the outcome of that as a brief aside.
That means, Mark, you're doing combat next session, and Bob has not prepared it. You're gonna have to fight a giant, and he doesn't know the stats for that.
You're just gonna have
I
to
got the
punch an
stats for
old
giants.
lady.
Yeah.
He hasn't statted out old ladies because it's not very knightly to fight them.
That's okay. I'll do it anyway. Depends. Are they fighting me? That's a fair fight. Doesn't matter what. See? Success on sword. Old lady's dead.
Well, let's see. We'll give her a 3. Watch her crit.
Yeah, let me roll damage too. Oh shit! Virgil's fucking dead.
Straight up.
Oh, that's funny.
She rolls 1d6 for the dagger and 4d6 for the crit. All of them come up 6. You take 30.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm glad that was actually just a random thing and not something that actually happened. Okay. We will move to Edrich next.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Edrich has, during his convalescing and after he is healed, there are 2 main things that he really wants to focus on. One, the enemy without. That is the Saxons, that is the actions between the Cornish and Escavalon. and 2 is the enemy within. There are weird, freaky things going on inside the borders of Salisbury and inside the woods. And like you mentioned in the last scene, as long as the alliance of whatever are around, they're going to continue to menace the peasants and Edrich specifically, stealing children, trying to steal his children, and ending up giving him an architect. It's all a mess. And they have been annoying enough that I think Edrich would like to try to organize, if not particular patrols, then certainly a concerted effort to flush them out, if the rulers will give assent to that. They don't have to know that they're magic creatures. They could just be bandit camps.
Should be organizing patrols into the forest.
Yes.
Okay.
However, he would like to go, and I don't know how much of a chance he'd have to heal.
Well, let's see.
Ultimately,
Another about 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah, that would get him up to 17 health, which is above half. Still not great.
Okay.
If one hit can kill him, he might be more prudent and allow others to get the glory. But let's be honest, he's very good at murdering these fiends at night.
Okay. So, who are you So first off, as the marshal, you don't actually need to ask permission to move men in your borders.
He doesn't, but he likes to have it, so they don't yell at him later.
Okay. Who are you approaching?
It would be the Earl, because, I mean, he has, he is the person he reports to.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to meet up with Earl Robert. What do you have to ask in this case?
Simply put, he would say, Your Grace, I would like to organize a consolidated effort to remove the creatures that remain within our forests and either drive them out or ensure they present less of a threat towards our borders. There's been enough raiding and kidnapping, I think, for their lifetime.
All right, I'm going to test something. I heard about this disgrace. How dare they? Do they not know the might of Salisbury? Sir Edrich, I wish you to show them.
They will learn it, and it shall be the last thing they know.
Okay.
Excellent.
Roll me a d10, sir.
Let's do it. I hope to succeed at 6.
Okay, and then 2d100.
99 and 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I need from you battle. You're going to test 3 things: battle, weapon skill of your choice, and hunting, actually.
May I impassion on these rolls?
You can impassion, but just how many things do you have? How many things do you have at 20 right now?
The
20 or above.
only thing I do you mean passion?
Yes.
Just love of family, which is 20.
Okay. I will allow
the main
you
thing I
one.
was asking for
I'll
was,
allow you one passion.
Yes. Indeed. That will be towards hunting, because that is the biggest risk, and I don't want to get lost in the forest again. Rolling battle. 18 over 20, success. Sword. 14 over 20, bad roll there. And hunting. I would like to activate in this. I'm doing it for my lord. I'm doing it because I said that I would. But also, I'm doing it because they thought they could take my son and replace him with one of their things. Could I use my Exalted Passion there, or would it be more appropriate to use Loyalty Lord?
A lot of that going around these days.
I will allow you to use it, but at a -1. If you want to use your Exalted Passion.
Let's do it. I believe introducing that would make me go into madness. Let's do it. Okay. Success.
Okay. You do get the +10.
Then let's try it. Success.
Okay.
No crits on any of them, but no failures, which I like a little more.
Okay. So the success of the raids, you managed to basically foil a number of raids with counter raids. You find sort of makeshift hideouts that they've been building. These aren't intended to be new keeps or anything. They're places to effectively act as brigands in the forest, and you're able to overturn a number of them successfully. The men, though, are extremely superstitious about being here, and there are some weird things, like some of the men go missing, some turn up again but are like just shells of who they were. They're fearful and broken a bit, but overall a pretty grand success as far as you know. It seems that you've broken up at least their ability to raid successfully on your lands and Wareside. Your campaign isn't so capable to succeed to go up further, so lands that would threatening hold on, give me a sec. I just need to pull up the map. I had two places in mind, but I forget their names. Threatening West Lavington, or like devices, even Imber, like those lands, you're not able to go past the mountains near Till's Head, so you're not sure how successful, or actually you are sure your campaign had no success in the north because there was no one to coordinate it. But down here in the like closer to the Wareside 100, things were very successful.
Indeed. Edric's main strategy is largely waiting for raids to happen, then crushing them in ambushes, following back to where they came, and stopping their hideouts. But any additional fights requires a better class of people. I'll say that with his high spiritual, this is partially like a little mini crusade. Like at nights, he would stir people with a kind of like almost religious fervor to try and keep their spirits up, which may or may not have worked. But I think he is quite pleased with what's been done around the Wearside 100. So long as they know that they can't raid with impunity, that's good.
All right. Okay, so we're going to give you... we will give you 40 glory.
Very nice. To men who feel that they have lost a part of themselves forever inside the forest and the mists, I recommend seeing a priest. If that fails, go to the tavern.
And you
God
only
bless you.
yeah, you only take one like a brief graze of an arrow is the only wound you take on this set of missions.
You know my weakness, then. Damn these people.
For two health.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Doesn't knock me below half, which is very good.
All right. That brings.
Yes, thank you kindly.
Indeed. We'll go to Virgil next.
Virgil turn.
Yeah.
I love Virgil turn. So am I decapitating this child? Is that what's happening?
Yes, indeed. So it is now the autumn.
You receive a letter that says, yes, you should.
Oh, by the way, for Edrich, you can do an intrigue roll. For Virgil, you can do an intrigue roll.
Absolutely. Success.
Okay.
Was that for both of us too? Yeah.
You an intrigue roll as well. And,
No clue.
okay, Edrich, you do learn of reports, by the way, during the summer that apparently the Earl Robert was almost killed in a hunt up in Devices.
You what?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Virgil, he doesn't have an heir. What the hell are you trying to do? For one,
Don't worry
killing a child is a bad thing. For another, you don't have anyone to take his place.
I just got a letter from you that said I should kill a child, so let's cool
Different
it,
one.
maybe.
The peasant man.
Okay. So with this Virgil, it's now autumn, right? As we move into the scene. What did you have in mind?
How are the defenses going? How's the building of the devices as a battleground?
It's going really well. You wouldn't have had. You realize as you're kind of looking around this area, test your siege, by the way, just as a general understanding of siege, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Is there any chance I could perhaps up siege a little bit, given I've been working with that, or is that going to come at the end of the year?
It's going to come at the end of the year, yeah.
Great. That's a fumble on a 1.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to play this off this way. You expect it to happen overnight because you have very little understanding of siege. And so you're doing that whole leader thing. You're like,
year now?
Yeah. You're like, why isn't this transformed into the iron, stronghold that I wish it to be? It's like,
why aren't you using metal?
Anyone that has seen this kind of work with knowledge of siege would understand just how much, like, basically you wouldn't have done a quarter of this without Halifax, like, and not in this short amount of time. But you will say that, like, maybe you're unaware of that, so you've been riding them for more updates, like wanting perfection, and it's just not a thing. Like, it's unrealistic expectations what we're getting to, only because of the fumble. So yeah. So you know what? I think with that,
managers like you.
Yeah, exactly. I think Halifax will spend the time, like, sitting down with you to explain it and explain how much the cost of it and such.
I figured you would use metal.
Where it can be used, the quantity in which you seek is not possible.
I saw in one of Perin's books one time they had this big metal dragon, and it threw fire at the enemies below. How many of those could we get made in short notice?
0, sir.
Oh. I'm grateful for the work you're putting in, Halifax. It's not what I expected, but I know a good one from a bad one, I think.
Of course, Sir Virgil. So we're all getting that. We've all worked with that project manager before at work. Roll me a d10, by the way.
I love a D10. We all love a D10. Who doesn't like a D10? That's a
We
3.
walls of metal.
And 2d100.
Ooh. 88 and 42. Respectively.
You hear a scream from down the hall.
Oh. Sprinting for that.
Okay.
What kind of scream are we talking here?
It was a lady's scream, a woman's scream.
Okay. Bad sign.
And it was, not the. It sounded like the bad kind of screaming.
Great. Sprinting for that.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what's going on here.
Okay. You see your cook, an older lady. Let's give her a name. Frayed. Not lady. Frayed the cook. Older lady, pleasant lady. You met her when you took over Devices a few years back, but she's wonderful cooking and super pleasant, and the kind of person that like doesn't know how to put her foot down or be mean to anyone. And as you kind of slide into the room at full speed, you see her laying on the floor in a pool of blood, and you see standing just beside her is the boy with a kitchen knife.
Well. Has he spoken at all since the incident?
He has. His voice has returned, but it's only in small bits. As far as your chaplain has said, it appears that the boy might be a bit lacking in his wits. Perhaps. But you didn't see that in him before that?
Exactly. The priest always knows best. I think guards sees him. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to go to the sister.
I'm going to establish this.
Oh.
You liked this cook.
Correct.
What is your vengeful?
That's a great question. I am a true knight, so I believe it's quite high. Yeah, that's... yeah.
What is your cruel?
Okay. Wait, I'll do one more for you here, Bob.
Yeah, right. You knew where I was going. Yeah, you're not going to let this kid get away with this. There is no forgiving this kid for this action. Mm-hmm. That's where your mind's at right now. The question I have for you is, can you constrain yourself enough not to immediately deliver
some spot?
We'll stay away from killing. Let's say some sort of punishment of retribution, let's say. A backhand,
I think-
something
Live
medieval.
his life.
Yeah. Well, we won't
Yeah,
go there
I
either, but maybe a stern smack. Yeah.
For a success on
Wooden spoon.
Cruel, yeah, I wouldn't spool a ruler. I think for a success on Cruel, I'd say in Virgil's eyes, I think there's a couple of things, right? One, had Virgil not had the discipline of a knight, even from a young age, that very easily could have been him. On another hand, it doesn't matter because Virgil didn't do that, and the situation compels resolution. And the kid has killed someone, and thus he's no longer got the innocence of a child in the eyes of Virgil for protection, right? So I think Virgil will absolutely be willing to hit the kid in order to secure him and take him into the dungeon just like any other criminal.
Yep. Okay.
And I don't think he's
Understood.
going to execute the kid yet,
No.
because I think there's a couple of things that he needs to do in his mind before then. But I'd say, for his sake, just so you have an awareness, that's not off the table for Virgil. Not at
Oh
all.
yeah, I would venture to guess that that's almost required in your first two rolls. Though you are famously arbitrary, so you could be swayed at whatever notice. If you were famously just, you would probably have to see to the proper recompense for such an action, right?
Might makes right. Unfortunately, Virgil's might does say that this kid's got to go. This kid's got to go down. It just depends on how it's done. There's a right way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
All right. Good times.
Let
And
a
with that-
changeling into my house. Can't believe this shit.
I sent a letter.
Indeed. As we move into the fall, Virgil, roll me a d6.
I love a d6. My favorite kind of dice. 6. That's good, right?
Sure.
The best way to say that.
Yeah. Is that the answer you want to hear? No. Honestly, it's so Virgil, you welcome in an illegitimate son.
Tough. Oh shit, I gotta name him. Okay, hang on. I'm glad it's a son. Let's see here. We'll come back to this. We'll come
You
back
will.
to this.
Yep.
Goof.
Yes. No, it has to be Deuce Child. Yeah. Which then has the son Goofus at that point.
Goofus. We love Goofus.
Sir Goofus. Yeah.
Goofus ap goof af doof.
Yes.
Dustin. Wonderful. So, wait. Before we move on real fast,
Yep.
I imagine this is not going over well with the missus.
What measure of silence are you willing to impose in tyranny over making sure this doesn't get to your wife?
Oh, none.
Okay.
I think there's a degree of, I think he'd like to make sure that the mother is protected from potential backlash as much as possible, but his honor compels him honesty with Lilo about this. He's not gonna sneak around about this, especially because he needs, I think he sees the end line of, at some point I need to accept this child into my home, and when that that band-aid's coming off one way or another someday. So I might as well get it out of the way early and give her more time to adjust to it, / for me to figure out how to survive this.
Understood. You find out that Lady Lilo has departed, all but moved to Sarum.
Fuck, I need her. She's my steward. God damn it. Come in, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Okay, I have a weird thing for you here.
Yeah.
Can I test a passion, and if I succeed, I go into melancholy?
What passion are you proposing? but yes,
The love for
probably.
Lady Lilo.
Yep.
All right. Next scene. I'm gonna say next scene that Virgil's in, he'll be in Melancholy.
All right. That'll line you up well because I think we'll be going into like a feast.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. All right.
Come back.
We're going to go ahead and wrap early tonight, boys. It's rare, but things are going. Oh, just as the Lord Baron came in, welcome in, friend.
Welcome for the raid. We're leaving.
But don't worry, we'll carry it on. We'll carry on the torch. I know, right? Normally we go longer, but we're at a good wrapping point. Welcome in, gang. Stick around because we'll pass on your raid to someone else. Share the love, as it were. Let's go ahead and do some quick outros, folks. We'll start with you, Thomas.
Hello, I am Thomas, and I have been Sir Edrich of Winterbourne Stoke, Marshal of Salisbury, and Baron of Vagon, which may or may not be getting a little bit bigger and more consolidated, ? It's been a pretty okay episode, despite starting at death's door. His squire's fine. His military service has been beautiful. We punched some Fae in the head. Having a good time destroying bandits.
Indeed. And Mark.
You're muted, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted. And I keep clicking the same button again. This is our handy dandy Discord. Come join our handy dandy Discord. We got lots of fun stuff on there, such as shit posting and memes, as well as notifications on whenever we go live, as well as new projects we are doing and we are a part of. I have been Muck, aka the Cat's Meow, playing Sir Florence of Idmiston, the Baron of Axe. I do a vampire thing that I run on tomorrow. I think actually the day after tomorrow for the Americans. On Tuesdays at 6:30 AEST. That is Australian Eastern Standard Time. Come join us if you like vampire for Isle of the Damned, a vampire Dark Ages campaign set in the Isle of Man. I also have another vampire game, which Bob is a part of, that is called House of Tremere. And that runs at Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST?
Yeah, you got it.
You are doing a great job.
Come join us there, over at the Cat's Meow. I also have a YouTube channel, which you can find the link to from my Twitch, the Cat's Meow Show. Come join us for lots of fun ttrpg fun with familiar and new faces all around. But that has been me. I hope you've enjoyed some Pendragon, and good.
I certainly enjoyed some Pendragon. I'll also jump right into me. Hi, everybody. I've been Liam. I played Sir Virgil. Baron Virgil of Durnford, undisputed Baron of Devices. Loving that shit. Very excited for my first paycheck as a Baron as well, because I spent a lot of money this year. I'm having a wonderful time with this game, as always. It's a shame about the cook. She was pretty good. I tune in next time if you want to see me throttle a child, probably.
No, they'll cancel you for that one.
If only
they cancel Virgil.
Yeah. So
it's allowed.
Killed with a knife in the kitchen. If this were a clue.
I think it was the child in the kitchen with the cook and the kitchen knife, I think.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So I'm Bob. We play a lot of Pendragon over here at Ticking Time Bob Gaming on Twitch. You can see us on for regulars on Sundays, on Tuesdays, and on Fridays with an interconnected game world across all three games. So lots of overlap, lots of NPC connections, crossover, cameos from various players in each other's streams, and an ongoing adventure into the life just before King Arthur, and then through into the life and death of Arthur and the Kingdom of Camelot and the Ladies of the Lake and everything you might like about the world of Arthuriana. In addition to that, I'll just do one shout out for the ttrpg talks, which is on my YouTube. It's a long form podcast. We recently had such guests as John Wick, not unfortunately the international assassin, but the TTRPG writer, and we had Matthew Dawkins, just recently published, who is a very prominent RPG writer, including Vampire 5th Edition, Chicago by Night, and his own games. And yeah, feel free to check those out. Super cool. Thanks for watching, y'all. And we've got a raid lined up for Maxwell Flyweight. These guys are great. So we're going to go say hi to them. We'll catch you next time, folks. Take care.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no. I meant to click that early. But we're loading up, gang. We're loading up. Loading up in 3,
Goodbye.
2, 1.
Yeah, goodbye.
We go. Yeah. All right. Stop recording.